What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Legend of the Seekers Weekly. Sorry it's been taking a while. Just if you saw the video yesterday, I've been going through some real life shit that's really been bothering me. But we're here to talk about episode 3, which is Bounty. Now, I saw this with Laura. She and I were going to be doing this video together because I wanted her a part of this series. But there's been some filming issues going on with trying to sync up our schedules. And I understand that. Life is hard, but we're going to try and get leading war writer into these videos so it can be a collaborative project. Now, I'm going to be kind of staring off into the side because it has been a minute and my whole depression and self-defeatism allowed me to not remember as much. So my reviews are going to be kind of me doing live feed on one side and then talking to you guys on this side if I ever get out of sync, if that makes sense. So episode 3 is called Bounty, where after Dark and Raw saw Richard Cypher, one of the stupidest names I ever heard of in my life, is now traveling, of course, with Love Interest and Crack Wizard, because I have no other names for them, because their names are weird to pronounce in my mouth. Where instead of the natural progression about them being so renowned and so famous they can just go into town with their heads held high and their shoulders up all like this, can just go into town and be famous. No. Dark and Raoul is so pissed off that Mr. Cypher is now officially the Seeker of Legends that he's putting up a bounty to have anyone that sees his face bring him in for I don't know how much money. I think enough for like a king's ransom. I'm not entirely sure because the language in this show is super fictitious and I don't understand because I did not read the books. In any case though, this is more or less not a plot driven episode but more of like a problem of the week one where a tavern barkeep or tavern owner, one of the two, apparently her brother got arrested early on in the episode for trying to steal in town some very important, I guess, food, pottery. I don't know, fam. All I know is she's just trying to use Mr. Cypher because he's the Seeker, but she doesn't believe in him as the Seeker, so she makes up an elaborate lie to have her get all up in Mr. Cypher's head, even though the love interest doesn't trust her because why should she trust her? And then the wizard is just trying to figure out how come the bounty hunters are able to track down Mr. Cypher because of an important object that was lost early on in the two-parter of his necklace from his father. So you can obviously tell where this is going, where Mr. Cypher ends up getting kidnapped by the bar lady, only to find out later on that she does have a brother that was arrested and needed saving. Even though it wasn't him kidnapped in order to be saved by a fictitious monster that turned out to be real. Hooray for coincidence! Oh wait, but the love interest is about to die. But she's able to save herself! Hooray! But now it's kind of a problem about how to free Mr. Cypher before he's taken away and imprisoned by the forces of Dark and Raoul. But it's fine though, because the love interest finds them and then saves her future love interest of Mr. Cypher. But now there's a problem about the bounty hunter still being a factor. But who cares when the crack wizard comes to save the day? But now they need to plan to save the brother. Oh wait, they come up with the most amazing one of playing cat and mouse of the Trojan horse variety by crafting an elaborate lie, have the main forces of the episode go to the cave where the fictitious monster was that's entirely important to the story, have him slaughter the soldiers while they save the brother when there's barely any forces left. Hooray for strategic planning that a 5-year-old could find out. I've been told the show gets better. Now, I say this is like a problem of the week episode because although there are certain plot elements that are arisen from this, like getting the necklace back, that's probably going to be super important to the season later, along with the factor of the bounty now being in full effect and how Cypher's team is trying to show the realm outside of the barrier little by little that the Seeker is alive and well and fighting for the people of the vast lands. It's more or less just focused around the problems of the people more than just plot progression. it's not a bad thing, but it's one of those things where it's not as integral. And if you're just trying to follow the story for plot convenience about how to get all the development for how Mr. Cypher learns his powers, how he gets into the whole responsibility, about how the love triangle events that may or may not pop up. I don't know if there's another love interest. I'm just assuming at this point. Whatever the case may be, it just turns into this whole thing of you go to this village, you solve a problem, your legend gets established, and that's the only plot progression. There is nothing about fleshing out how much training is being involved, how great his powers are growing if they are mystical in nature, not about the romance budding, not about the history of the crack wizard, even though he's not on drugs, he just looks like he's on drugs. Nothing of the sort is being established, and I feel like that's the weakest thing about a follow-up episode from a huge two-parter. But I think that's because we're coming back from Merlin, where everything was kind of important to character development, and it makes it a little unfair. I'm sorry. So, now that we're back into the fray of things, we're going to come back into all things Legend of the Seeker, hopefully next week with episode 4 of Brenadon. And I apologize to all of you guys that have been waiting for these videos. I promise they will be back at a new time. Instead of being Tuesdays, because that was a huge thing for Merlin, I'm moving this to Thursdays. It's still important. We're still doing this weekly, but brand new series, brand new rules. If we had Merlin for Tuesdays, we're going to be doing Seekers every Thursday, and then we might be doing another weekly thing. I'm doing 3 weekly series now. Podcast and 2 weekly reviews. You guys can assume what the new review series is in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next week with Brenadon. Oh god, that just sounds stupid. What kind of child is named Brenadon?